For more, let's speak to Francesco Saraceno, Deputy Director at the OFCE and Sciences Po University. Hello to you, Francesco. First, let's begin with the markets. Are they going to continue to drop? I mean, at some point, surely there must be a rally. So how long do you think this will go on?
Oh, that is $1 million question. I don't know. I think, of course, it had to be expected that this attack to the multilateral trading system by the Trump administration would lead shockwaves. So I'm not surprised. I'm surprised by the size of the drop. I mean, 2 consecutive days like that, as you said before, we never saw. It will not go on with this amplitude for long. As usual, this is just a few days. But I mean, for sure, we are heading towards a turbulent time. Increasing inflation, probably a slowdown of economic activity. Will it be a recession or not? That we don't know. It also depends how much other countries will retaliate. So in the end, stock market will be affected because the economy will be in worse shape now. How long the current drop is going to last, I'm not capable of saying, of course.
Yeah, and all of this comes down to, I think, trust. Trust that we can find a solution, trust that we can reach a new agreement. But how do you get trust if Trump isn't honoring existing agreements? What's to think other countries that he'll honor whatever the future agreement will be?
No, absolutely. I totally agree with you. I mean, that is the problem we're having right now, right? The idea of the Trump administration is to hit hard and then walk back after getting concessions from other countries. This is what he has in mind. But we learned in the past that the more you concede to Trump, the more he actually asks. So he's not. I mean, it's not exactly somebody with whom you could actually try to find a middle ground. So the risk is that other countries, China just started. I think Europe will not wait too long before starting retaliating. Maybe it will not just be tariffs. Somebody's talking about targeting the tech giants operating in Europe. Somebody else is talking. So I mean, other countries will push back. Canada pushed back, for example. Mexico pushed back, and so that means that we are going to have a long period of, I repeat, turbulent times. I mean, people say it's a trade war. I mean, I think it's the right expression. Of course, there are true wars right now around the world, so it's hard to use it. But I mean, it's a good expression. So the problem is that it's impossible to negotiate with this administration because as soon as you start negotiating, they will actually ask for more. And so pushing back is the only option. Is it a good option? No, it's not a good option because everybody will be a loser. Trade wars only leave losers. There are no winners in trade wars. But I mean, there is nothing else other countries can do. That is in the short term. In the long term, in the medium to long term, I think we're already seeing that. I mean, a couple of days ago, there was a meeting between Korea, Japan, and China to try to find a trade agreement to compensate for this push by Trump. So in the medium run, I mean, I think we should start thinking about reorganizing the world trading system to be less centered around the United States. I mean, the United States are basically sliding into autarky, and we should let them do it, and the other countries should try to find alternative arrangements, both in terms of trade and in general in terms of governing the world economy.
I guess there's also a question of how much political capital does Donald Trump have. We're going to see mass protests against him this Saturday. But in terms of his MAGA base, will this be a test of whether people hold Trump closer to their hearts than they do their life savings or their retirement accounts?
You only ask $1 million questions today. No, you're perfectly right. So far, the Trump voters are behind him. I mean, all the polls show it. If things go as almost everybody is forecasting, so if the impact of these tariffs will be mostly felt by American consumers in terms of purchasing power drops, of inflation increase, of layoffs. You saw these auto workers who said we supported these measures because they were supposed to bring jobs back in America, and now Stellantis is already announcing layoffs. I mean, if it starts hitting people in their wallet, we'll see. Maybe some of his supporters will actually let him go.
Meanwhile, on Thursday, Jerome Powell, the chairman of the Federal Reserve, hinted the U.S. central bank is not going to bail out the U.S. economy anytime soon. The idea being that maybe they could lower interest rates to alleviate inflation. Do you think that's the right decision?
Central banks are in a difficult position, like they were in a difficult position after COVID. There will be most likely inflationary pressure, especially in the United States, but not only. I mean, if we start retaliating, there will also be inflation here in Europe. And of course, when you see inflation, the Pavlov instinct is to simply increase interest rates to fight inflation. But this is a supply-side inflation, like pretty much like the inflation we had post-COVID. So central banks will be torn between trying to support the economy, so if not reducing interest rates, at least not increasing them, or try to fight inflation by cooling down the economy. And this will be a difficult decision because whatever they do, it will be a mistake in some sense.
Yeah, and in the meantime, we have businesses struggling to adapt to this trade war. For multinationals, whether it's in terms of confidence, recruitment, research, or mergers and acquisitions, how are these tariffs going to affect businesses?
Thank you for this question, because I think this is the most important thing. Okay, so there will be mechanical effects of the tariffs. This is for sure, and I repeat, the retaliation, which I think will come, will add to the problem. But the real sign of this, the real feature of these first 2 months of the Trump administration is 3 months. It's the enormous policy uncertainty trigger. We don't know what the American president will do tomorrow, and we don't know and nobody knows. And so in this situation, for example, investment is set to collapse, because suppose you are a multinational, as you say, where should you try to open a plant? Should you open it in the United States, where the costs will be huge because all the imported components will be taxed? Should you open it in another country, where then to export in the United States you will have costs? Should you not open it at all? All of these questions are questions that firms are asked today. And this is, uncertainty is the worst enemy of the economy. And the Trump administration is fueling a huge uncertainty. I don't recall in my life such a high level of policy uncertainty as the one we've been seeing in the past 2 months. And so this is very bad for the economy, regardless of the tariffs, on whether he will step back. That we'll see. But this is really the defining feature of these first few months of the Trump administration is really being the fact that we have no idea what will happen. And of course, for us analysts, it means that we get wrong every forecast we try to do. For firms, it means that they simply froze, because they cannot do anything, because with uncertainty, you just freeze and wait to hoping to see clearer in the future.
Yeah, as you say, uncertainty is the worst enemy of the economy. And right now we have more questions than answers, don't we? Francesco, thank you very much. Francesco Saraceno.